This news update is brought to you by...
Everyone's looking for more space.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
Closet space.
Circle again, I think I see one.
Parking space.
And that is how Pythagoras' theorem works, understand?
Even headspace. But when it comes to data storage, MyCloud from Lime has plenty of room for you. Upgrade to a Lime data plan of 500 megs or more and get 3 gigs of MyCloud data storage free. It's great for storing photos, music, and much more. So don't delete it. Store it on MyCloud from Lime. It's the only space to be.
Upgrade to Lime!
Welcome to the Barbados Today Morning News Update. It's Friday, February the 6th, 2015. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that the Barbados Bar Association is blaming the local Court of Appeal for failing to expedite the disciplinary committee's recommendation to disbar certain lawyers. Bar President Tariq Khan told the news conference yesterday that public criticism against it for not censoring members was misdirected. Khan said while the committee makes recommendations, it's the Court of Appeal that has the final say in reprimanding or disbarring lawyers who are found guilty of running afoul of the law.
The majority of these complaints are dealt with immediately. To the extent, as I understand it, there were perhaps 72 complaints last year, 53 the year before. Out of a roll call of over 1,000 lawyers. The disciplinary committee works incredibly hard. It makes recommendations to the Court of Appeal, which makes the final decision as to whether a lawyer will be reprimanded or disbarred. I understand from both the chair and the previous chair that there are reports with the Court of Appeal regarding recommendations for certain lawyers, but they have not been acted on. Now, we are not responsible for that, neither is the disciplinary committee, but it gives you an idea of the challenges that we face as a profession and the criticisms that are launched against us for things that we are not responsible for.
Khan also expressed grave concern about the environmental conditions at the multi-million-dollar Supreme Court complex on White Park Road in the city.
This building was handed over in 2009. To the best of our knowledge, this building was not properly cleaned. Now, I am not sure if members of the public are aware of that, but it is our responsibility to tell the public that this building has a host of health challenges, to the extent that some members who work within that building are unable to function throughout the day without falling into a seizure of coughing, watering eyes, and so on. In one of the courts, it is apparent that the walls are bubbling with some sort of fungal infestation. But I'm not an expert. I can only tell you what I see and what my colleagues see. Now if that is not a health hazard, I don't know what is. But those are the nuts and bolts issues that we have tried to resolve. Not only myself, the former president, Barry Gale, Queen's Counsel, Andrew Pilgrim, Queen's Counsel before him, Leslie Haynes, Queen's Counsel before him. And we have failed miserably to find a solution to this problem.
Opposition MP Kerry Simmons is fearful that Cabinet's recent approval of US $270 million funding for the cane industry restructuring project may be a little too late. In an interview with Barbados Today, the St. James Central parliamentary representative said the Ministry of Finance's failure to act early on a cabinet approval of the same project back in May 2013, requiring $70 million funding, will now bring its future viability into serious doubt.
We do not know, for example, whether it will realistically now still cost $270 million United States dollars. We do not know whether the baseline conditions for the financing of the project are in fact achievable given the fact that yield has fallen so sharply. And at best, it is going to take a few years in order to get us back to a level of yield that makes it worthwhile. Between now, in fact, it's not going to be in place for 2015, so let's be frank, it probably would not even be in place for 2017. And the question is, how fast can we raise the level of yield in Barbados to make this project meaningful and worthwhile?
The Barbados Workers Union will have its say on the national budget likely to be presented in April. BWU General Secretary Tony Moore says the union will be discussing its expectations for the budget at its midterm meeting set for February 15th. She says topping the union's wish list is a call for no new taxes.
We will be calling on our members to put together their views, give us their views on the new national budget or the upcoming national budget. Of course, there are positions that we would readily wish to put. For instance, we would wish to see that in presenting the budget that the government through the Minister of Finance would not wish to impose any further taxes on the working class and on Barbadians in general. But I'm sure that our membership coming from the different divisions may have a number of views that they would wish to have us, their representative voice, express during the upcoming weeks prior to the budget and after the budget has been presented.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union, Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union, Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union, Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union, Cooperative Credit Union.
Welcome back with news from the region that 11 people have been hospitalized following an explosion at Royal Palm Plaza in Marival, Trinidad. There were no deaths immediately reconfirmed. Up to last night, 4 were reported in critical condition. 1 person was reported to be missing. Early reports suggested that the explosion was triggered after a gas hose was being changed in the area. In more regional news, it's nomination day in St. Kitts Nevis and candidates are ready to secure their place in the February 16th general election. It comes on the heels of yesterday's court victory for the ruling St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. The OECS Supreme Court on Thursday discharged an injunction which now allows the February 16th general elections to be held on new electoral boundaries. Prime Minister Dr. Denzel Douglas said the court's ruling proves that the boundary changes are valid, responsible and just. There are reports that the opposition's legal team will be taking the matter to the Privy Council in London and is likely to be heard early next week. On the international scene, police say around 100 women in Japan who thought they were participating in a sleep study were actually drugged and raped. The attacks recorded and sold to porn sites. Authorities arrested 54-year-old Hideyuki Noguchi after one of the women saw herself in a video.
Police here in Japan say this all began in early 2012 with a newspaper ad like this. They say Hideyuki Noguchi was recruiting women from their teens to their 40s for a sleep study. The only criteria, they had to allow him to check their blood pressure while they slept. Now keep in mind, Noguchi has no medical training that police know of, but he convinced these women to meet up with him at various hotels. He would give them sleeping pills and alcohol until they were knocked unconscious. And then police say he would sexually assault these women. And we're not just talking about a few victims here. We're talking about dozens of women, around 100 by Noguchi's own estimate, according to police. And it gets worse. Not only was he sexually assaulting them allegedly, but police say he was also videotaping the crimes, and then he was selling the videos to adult websites and pornographic filmmakers. He made about $100,000 doing this, they say, to make money for his own personal entertainment. And the only way that police found out about this, one of the women actually saw a video of herself online, and she reported Noguchi. They tracked a number of other women, and legal experts say because of the number of charges, about 36 charges that have been filed so far, it is very likely Noguchi will spend a very long time in prison, given the fact that Japan has a 99% conviction rate.
And with that, we come to the end of our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Lime TV, as well as Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.
This news update is brought to you by...
Everyone's looking for more space.
How many pairs of shoes do you need?
Closet space.
Circle again, I think I see one.
Parking space.
And that is how Pythagoras' theorem works. Understand?
Even headspace. But when it comes to data storage, MyCloud from Lime has plenty of room for you. Upgrade to a Lime data plan of 500 megs or more and get 3 gigs of MyCloud data storage free. It's great for storing photos, music, and much more. So don't delete it. Store it on MyCloud from Lime. It's the only space to be.